Welcome to the Double Shot Drone Podcast, hosted by Davy Kieran and Mike Berthold, two professional Florida drone pilots and entrepreneurs. All right, we're live. How's it going, Dave?
It's going. We got the new setup going over here tonight, brother.
How did that? So you were on your way to a drone job, and somebody decided to run into you. What happened?
Buddy, well, I mean, we're in Florida here, so any given time there's, sky opens up and, storms of all storms come down on top of us. And that's just what happened. I got to the job and the skies turned black, and, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to get the job. So I called the guy. I'm sitting outside his house. I'm like, I'm the guy in the car sitting outside your house, but obviously I'm not going to be able to do the job today. So let's reschedule. So we did for today. I went to the guy's house today at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock this morning. So I drove away. I drove out of the gated community and basically get on that road, Immokalee Road. I drive 2 miles and I get on the highway and I go home. Well, between the gated community and the highway, somebody decided to rear end me, and then somebody decided to rear end them. So,
oh boy,
So
long story short, how do you feel?
It's the first accident I've had, and I'm nearly 60 years old. So, I'll cross my fingers on that one, and take it for what it's worth. But
really,
it
wasn't your fault, though.
No, it wasn't my fault. But I'll tell you this, and it's very coincidental or not coincidental, but last week when I was working with James Fernandez, remember I spoke to you, I met up with James Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
That day was very strange for me. It was a very strange day. Whatever. We did our job. We did a real estate job. And then I said to him, let's go down Fort Myers Beach. You haven't seen it since the storm, so let's go down there. And, a lot of the areas are blocked off, and it's just you just don't know where you go when you're going. So I pulled in a couple of places, let him take some photographs, and then I pulled into another area, and I went into a parking lot, and he was behind me, but then he must have stopped to take a picture. I pulled into a parking spot and I backed out to go back out again. And as I'm backing out, I'm not paying attention. My phone rang, da 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 da, and I backed out. And I mean, Mike, there was a car parked and I was touching it. I had backed out, to the left, looking that way, not looking that way. And I was actually touching the darn car. It was like I was that close. Now, how my back end didn't rip the side out of it, I just obviously came the whole way around and went flat against it.
Wow.
And I look over and James is sitting there in his car looking at me like, what the hell's going on? So I got out, I pulled away, I got out, I made sure the guy's car wasn't damaged. I pulled up to him and I go, that was darn close. That was darn close. So we continue. We're driving down Fort Myers Beach, and James calls me and says, I called James and I was like, what do you want to do? Do you want to stop and take any more pictures, or what do you want to do? I know you got to go home to Miami. And he goes, let's go get lunch. And I go, okay, but we're on Fort Myers Beach. There's nowhere to get lunch. There's just nothing here. So we're going to have to drive like well over to, like 10 miles or something over to.
But we got lunch at that one place and a beer, remember?
Yeah, but that was downtown Fort Myers. That was downtown Fort Myers.
Okay.
And that was before the hurricane? No, that was just after.
That was just after the hurricane.
Just after, and that was downtown Fort Myers. This wasn't Fort Myers Beach. Anyway, long story short, we're driving, and we were driving for a long time, and I was like, screw this, and I pulled into a strip mall, and there was nothing in the strip mall, but I got out of there, I parked. I didn't park in a parking spot. I pulled in, and I just pulled right in the middle. There's cars pulled up that way and cars pulled in that way. And I just get out of my car, walk back to James's car. And as I'm walking back, he's smiling at me like, dude. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I just came over to tell you, it's like, if there's somewhere you want to, if there's somewhere, or you don't want to grab lunch because it's taking too long and you got to get home, that's fine with me. And he goes, no, no, no. He goes, that guy's backing out. So I look over and there's a guy now backing out, coming right up to my car. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to run back to my car, you know what I mean? And I get back in my car and the guy stopped before he hit me. And I go back in my car and I'm like, these things happen in threes. So something's going to happen with my rear end backing out of my,
I'm gonna have to edit that out, Pat.
huh?
My brother's talking. He's like, "Your food's back on the stove or whatever." I'm like,
Yeah.
"My brother's over today."
Oh, okay. Have a good time.
So he's
But,
keeping me company while my family's away.
There you go. But needless to say, things happen in threes, and I was like, I knew something else was going to happen. I just knew something else was going to happen, and you know, it took a couple of weeks. It took a couple of weeks, but there you go. And I'll take that as my number 3. You know what I mean? Because I drove away, the other 2 guys got towed away. So you mean whatever happens, happens. So I'll take that as my number 3.
Did you give them your card?
My card?
Yeah. Did you ask if they were a realtor or if they were a business owner or a construction manager?
What was kind of crazy was, you know, I'm sitting there and I was the front car, and the tow truck guy arrived. Now we all sat in our cars for like a good half hour because the rain was torrential. It was one of those times. It was just torrential, you know. And there's cars coming by, beeping horns and everything. Like, dude, where are we going? I mean, what do you think's going on here? Anyway, so the cops arrived, the fire department arrived. We're all sitting in the middle lane. Blah blah blah. 5 minutes later, it's 90 degrees and the sunny skies. Sunny skies. Blah blah. So the tow truck guy arrives. I got my yellow vest on, my FAA certified pilot yellow vest on, and I'm standing at the passenger side of my truck. He pulls up on the driver's side of my truck, and he's yelling at me through his closed window, like blah, 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 yelling at me. I'm standing on the other side. I'm looking over my truck. I'm like, is he talking to me? I'm like, what? What are you yelling at, bro? And he's like yelling, like blah, blah, blah. So I walk around, and now I'm in between my car and his truck, tow truck, and he's yelling at me. And I go, dude, put down your window if you got something to say. Put down your window. He leans over, he puts down his window, and he goes, dude, move your effing car. I go, excuse me? He says, I got to tow that guy. Move your effing car. And I'm like, dude, I just got rear-ended, bro. I'm like, I ain't moving till the cops tells me it's good to go. I don't know what he was thinking. I think he thought I was there as a helper or as a, you know, and I had pulled up to the accident and backed up to the front of the accident. You know what I mean? Without thinking. So he gets out of the truck now and he's coming around on me. And I'm like, buddy, you're picking the wrong guy, wrong day, you know? So anyway.
Well, half the podcast is about your accident now. Great.
Yeah, well, let's not go there now. The podcast is about me actually.
What I was trying to get at was there's opportunities everywhere. And if somebody's towing your car, you never know when they're gonna, you know, need aerial photography. Maybe it's just their own small little business that does towing. Incidentally, and I got a couple examples. This week has been amazing, Davy. My signage on the back of my truck has gotten noticed so many times at gas stations.
Oh yeah.
At job sites. I had another guy pull me over. I didn't tell you that yet. Another guy pulled me over. And as you know, I do some deliveries now and then. And today, I'm like, I'll take a delivery. What the heck? You know? Well, actually, this morning I did the dock progression photography, which went amazing. We did the time lapse or the hyperlapse.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't really putting on the roof, but he goes, well, do you want me to just kind of make it look like I'm being busy? I'm like, whatever, you know, just move around, you know, saw stuff, you know.
Time lapse doesn't work unless there's movement.
There's movement, yeah. So I said, well, this will be an experiment anyway, you know. I mean, I really want to be there when you guys are putting on the metal roof, you know, of the dock. And this is like a $50,000-$60,000 dock, so it's a significant dock. So anyway, so I did it, and I took some different angles. I did your example. I did a little bit of point of interest, and I did like 3 or 4 different angles with the hyperlapse. So I'm excited to see what I got. And then
I
I
think
did,
that's
of
the
course, the
idea,
regular
yeah.
progression photography too, because he pays me for that too. So I'm on my app. I look, okay, there's a delivery I can do too. It's kind of in the area. So I pick up this just like a buffet type thing, and I deliver it to downtown Tampa. And when you deliver stuff to downtown Tampa, it's miserable because you have to go up flight, your elevators that suck way up in the high rises and stuff like that. Well, this one I had to do that, so I had to go in the like elevator, put it in there, do that, and it was sucky, and it wasn't paying a lot. But I'm like, what the heck? It's on my way home almost, so I'll do it. I got nothing else to do. So I
Wife and
deliver
kids are
this thing
still away on
with
vacation.
another guy, and it's this lady. She's a black lady, and I deliver it to her. It's the 4th floor, and we deliver it. And it turns out like there's something wrong with the buffet. Like we set it up, and the legs didn't like fit. Like you could see they were gonna buckle. So I said, oh, we can't let you have this, So we turn it over. I get it in my toolbox, and I find some screws, right? And I drill them in the way they're supposed to be. And I set it up, and she's like, "Oh my God, you guys are great." Da, da, da. She gives a tip. She goes, "Most guys would just leave me high and dry." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Tell me about it." Guys in their 20s and 30s, they got other stuff to do. They're
Yep.
going to leave you high and dry. I said, "Well, hey, very nice to meet you." She's a super lady. And I said, this isn't the only thing I do. I'm also a drone photographer, Part 107, license. And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I do that professionally." She's, "I thought you do pickup and delivery." I'm like, "No, only about 20% now. I do about 80% photography." And she's like, "Oh my God, it's like can I use you?" And she's telling me about the organization that she runs. It's Women of Color in Golf.
Get out of town.
Yeah, she's black, right? And she runs Women of Color in Golf. So in other words, Latinos, black women, stuff like that. And she has like a girls camp and a little girls camp, and they teach them golf. And they not only teach them golf, they have ex senior professionals like Gary Player come and teach these girls. They're retired, they don't have nothing else to do. Amazing organization. She's like, "I can use some of your photography, no doubt about it." She goes, "I have guys that do ground stuff, but I don't have anything aerial." And I showed her some of my examples and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're good." She's like, "We're gonna be best friends."
Get
I
out
said,
of
"No,
town.
I already got a best friend down in Fort Myers." No, I didn't say that. But I was like, "Hey, I would love to help your organization out, help it grow." And she tells me she goes all over the world promoting this. And she didn't get like a government loan or anything. She did it all on her severance package. She used to work at Lockheed.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Lockheed
yeah, 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 yeah.
Station. Yep. Super girl. Oh my God. I had such good time talking to her. So anyway, that little piddly amount that I got for delivering it turned into possibly
Potential.
much more. So
Yeah.
what I want to say on this podcast is there's opportunities out there galore. You just never know. Like that video, I don't know if I showed you 2 days ago, my brother and I, was it Saturday, Pat? Yeah. Saturday we went kayaking to Fort DeSoto. I brought my drone. I got some great
Frozen.
footage of all the 1,000 boats out there. I showed her that one. I don't know if I showed you that. Did I show it to you yet?
I didn't hear what you said there. You froze for like 3 seconds. So
Oh, we went kayaking, paddling to Fort
yeah,
DeSoto.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I took my drone this time, and I took some video and some photos of all the 1,000 boats that are like partying out there. And
You
I
show me
put
that
together a
one.
little video clip and showed it to her. The color, the women, was it Women of Color in Golf?
Colored women in golf.
Yes, I'll have to probably as I edit, and maybe I'll put her logo on there.
Yeah.
But super lady, and I can't tell you how many times I came across somebody that's going to be a possible new client. So talk about doing the do,
Yeah.
like I'm always doing the do.
Well, I'm sitting here right now. I got a new computer.
Oh, you got a new computer? Yeah, woo! Davey got a new computer.
Yeah,
How
but
long was that?
I got a Mac Mini.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the
That seems like a nice one.
no, it looks like this.
Wow, I never
It
saw that
doesn't come
before.
with a screen. It's just a processor. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a desktop. Well, it is a desktop, but it doesn't come with a screen or anything or keyboard or anything like that.
Really?
It looks like this. This is actually a hard drive, but it looks exactly like this. It's sitting right there, and I have
You're
my monitor.
you're zooming on it,
I'm Yeah, I'm zooming on it right
and
now.
then you have your monitor side to the side.
No. This this POS is done for. This POS died. This is the one that I've been working on that this screen has not worked. This screen has not worked. So
Okay.
when I would Zoom with you, I would take this, off the camera and I would see on the monitors because this screen does not work. Just cannot see anything on it. So whatever happened the other day, everything ended up on this screen. So I can't see it to move it, to do anything with it. So I'm like, and I have 3 real estate jobs this week, and I'm like, I can't play with this anymore. You know, I mean, it's so
I've never heard of the Mac Mini. I'm a Mac guy. I'm on a Mac right now.
yeah. Well, this is a Mac Mini, and that's what it looks like. It's something, it's actually silver, but that's what it is. It's got no screen or anything, and you just hook it up to a screen, and then you hook a keyboard up to it. So now you've got all
Really?
access. And then
Wow.
I
So
went and I bought
that's
a
the hard drive. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a
That's
hard
the
drive. So and because it's just a hard drive, you get more stuff. 'Cause
ah.
you're not paying for screen and you're not paying for a keyboard and you're not paying for
So
anything
it's
else.
not as expensive as a MacBook Pro would.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
How'd you find out about that?
I mean, I've always known about them, you know what I mean? But I mean, if I was going to go somewhere like a 2-week vacation, I would take that. I would have to take some type of keyboard, and then I could take cables and plug that into the back of a TV if I was in a hotel room, you know what I mean, and use the TV as the screen,
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah. So that's what I would take. You know, I would put this in my bag. You know, it's got all the
That
you know
is
stuff,
interesting. Yeah, that is
all
very
the
interesting.
outlets. But you need to take a keyboard.
Are we trying to get Mac Mini as a sponsor?
No. But this is what was going on today. So
Right.
and I've been trying to set the whole thing up, and I had to go get a camera and all that stuff, and you know, I mean, so anyway, and then when you sent me the email, then it's like I didn't have Zoom downloaded on this, so I had to go through that process. That's why it took me a couple of minutes to get
You
involved.
did
So
it pretty quick, I gotta say.
anyway, so when I was in the Apple store today, I walked in and the place was jam packed. There was a class that had just been finished, or not a class, but there was a speaker up there that had just done a presentation on the screen, and there was a bunch
Yeah.
of kids, and the place was absolutely jam packed. And the girl goes to me, she says, it's going to be like a 40-minute wait. And I'm like, I go, do you have a Mac Mini 1616 with 512 gigs? I go, because if I have to come back in 40 minutes
I'll
and
buy it
ask
right
that
now.
same
Yeah.
and ask that same question and being told no, then I'm not waiting. So she goes, okay. So she looked and she says, yeah, we do have one in house. I go, then I'll wait. And she goes, well, you know what? Since you actually know what you want and you're going to buy it and walk out the door, I can get you a lot quicker. I said, great. So 10 minutes later, she gets me into Jason, and I go to Jason, and he goes, 1616 512, and I go, done. And he goes, what do you do? And I go, I'm an aerial photographer. And he goes, oh, have you done anything for Apple? And I go, no. And he's like, you know what? You should contact Apple. He just send something in there, blah, 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 blah. They always look for people in different parts of the world and different areas.
Oh, you know
Because,
what? Kind of like an influencer.
well, not necessarily an
Well,
influencer,
I
but
mean, if you're using Apple and you're editing your software with Apple, and you throw some of that on your Instagram, and stuff
well,
like
that's
that.
the thing. And then you just send it to Apple,
Yeah,
and he goes, so, I mean,
they might send you a new computer. You never know. I mean, you never know.
buddy,
I see all
listen,
these. I see all these Instagram info. I'm a influencer and all that, and it's like, and it's usually these sports drinks and stuff like that. And it's like, what are they? What is this? What are they just giving you like free drinks, or I was wondering how that happens. But I do know a guy, Ken Dono, who I definitely want to have on this podcast sometime, or YouTube channel or YouTube channel. He's the guy that built my tower computer, that thing
yes,
that
you told
zooms.
me about him, and I thought about that today. I was
And
thinking about that today.
he gets, from what I gather, he gets free drones to test them out, and then he puts them on his, he grades them on his YouTube channel. He's probably got about 70,000 subscribers now. I mean, that's pretty significant. And it's really done well. I'll have to send you the link. It's called the Original Dobro, I think. Original Dobro. Incidentally, that YouTuber that you told me about for like mapping and stuff, can you send me that link? Because I forgot all about that.
Oh,
That info on that, because I want to check that out.
what's
You know
his
what I'm talking
name?
about? The last podcast?
Rich Carpentier.
Yeah. Can you just text that to me so I can remember it?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have a pen or pencil in front of me, but that would be cool. So holy crap. The hell? What time is it here? We got a couple minutes. Usually gives us a warning. It looks like we got probably 3-4 minutes. But anything you want to add to that happened this week, that like, what was your high? What was your low? Well, we know what your low is. What was your high, Davy?
No, they were both the same thing. Getting into it and driving away from it. Getting into it and driving away from it. That was
Okay.
it. It's like
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna interject here. I'm gonna say my high was today, although I had a great week all week. I mean, I did that the sound video or hyperlapse for the sound. I think I showed you that. And I've been showing that to everybody, dude. They're like, wow, you
which
can do
one?
that? With the cars going real fast and then the concert going. Did I send that to you?
Oh yeah. On the
Maybe I'll
break
put that on here. Right here.
yeah.
The sound video.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I gotta tell you, it's been highlight after highlight. Me and my brother have been doing more paddling, so more exercise. Just getting out and doing nature stuff, because my wife and kids are in the Poconos. So I, I don't even know if I had a low, but today meeting that lady that runs
The golf.
the women of color in golf or something. I think that. And again, I'll
It's
have it
good
here.
that you get somebody to play with. I mean, it's
Yeah, and I would just like to go out and have a beer with her. She was so cool. I mean, she was like, she goes, "You're gonna be my best friend. I know it. I'm like, the universe is talking." And
she
dude,
said
I
that.
believe in that. The manifestation. I've been manifesting a lot of this, Davey,
Yeah.
and a lot of it's coming to fruition.
Oh, listen, I'm right there, dude. I mean, you have no idea, bro. I mean, it's like
I'm just trying to think of a low. Pat, what was my low this week? Every day was better than the next.
I hear you, but I mean, listen, it was my mother's birthday the other day. Like June 27th was my mother's birthday. She passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But
Mama Curran.
she used to dance. I mean, she danced and everything. Now, she passed away in 2021, which was in the middle of COVID. So
Oh
actually,
no,
I couldn't get home to visit, you know what I mean?
that's
So, and then she was cremated, and they had a camera in the crematorium, and like her sisters, my aunts, and my sisters were there, and there was and dude, you know, they're playing songs and dancing with the friggin' coffin, my mother's coffin in the background.
what?
Yeah, yeah. No, it sounds it did. But they played Dancing Queen, you know what I mean? Which was one of my ABBA by ABBA, one of my
Oh, that's
mother's
right.
favorite. Yeah. So the other day I'm going to a job, and I went into the gas station, and I'm like, you know what? Just gonna buy a lottery ticket here. You know, Mom, it's your birthday. I'm buying a lottery ticket. That's it. And I go outside and I get in the car, and as I'm backing out, the radio station went into static. You know what I mean? It was like, and I'm like, how the hell can it be static? I'm on Cape Coral. I'm like 10 minutes away from where I live. Why is there static when the radio station was fine before? And I moved it. I hit scan one time, and I hit the button again, and it was Dancing Queen.
What the hell?
And I'm like, you know,
That's
I'm
your
like,
mama
Mom,
keeping up on
yeah.
you, Davy.
And I haven't checked the lottery
Watching out
ticket
for
yet.
you.
So, so you know, I'm hoping she was listening. She was definitely listening. You know what I mean? So I manifested her talking to
That's
me,
awesome,
and I
dude. That's a
manifested
great
the
story.
answer. It was like, I mean, because it's like you have a radio station playing, and it's Florida. You know what I mean? Like, why would the
What?
static come in? Why would the thing,
Yeah, and a
you know,
thousand songs could come on
thousand
too.
songs, and then there's 100 million songs, and I changed the channel, and I hit scan stop, and it was Dancing Queen, and it took me a second, and I'm like, oh my
My
god,
God.
oh my god. I'm like, and I just drove down and I'm pulling up to the house with this big smile on my face. Like,
Oh man, that's
this is
awesome.
awesome.
That
Thank you,
is
Mom.
awesome.
You know,
Hey, thanks, Mom.
that was a high. That was a high for the week.
Oh my God, that's awesome, dude. That's a great story, dude. And I think we're recording, so I
But
think
you
everybody's gonna
know,
do that.
but just as you're saying, you manifest things. You know, things actually you you put that energy out there, that good
Yep.
energy, that good, the good stuff.
Here, real quick, I had a similar thing a few years ago. My dad passed about well, when dad passed 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, he, at 84, my dad. And I asked I don't know, I was on some YouTubes or something like that, and somebody said something about that. Hey, ask for, if you want to like communicate with your loved ones, ask for something, like kind of try to manifest it. And I was like, oh, this is BS. I don't know, no,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. I go, how about a hummingbird? Dad, show me a hummingbird. Well, that week I did a delivery, and the lady's like, hey, I got some stuff in the garage that, I don't need anymore. Just, you said you have a little girl that I thought she might want this like jewelry box type thing. And she brings it out, and I'm like, cool. And I look at it. Guess what's etched in the jewelry box?
A hummingbird.
A hummingbird, dude. A hummingbird. I went home and I bawled like a baby.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, you freaking
Obviously, you
gotta be
took the hummingbird box.
Pat, where's that hummingbird box? Are we still recording? Go get that hummingbird. It's in Brinley's room. See if you can find it. We got like 2 minutes.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Like hummingbird.
And that silver hummingbird box? Yeah, it's like it should be in Brinley's room. Yeah, I was like, I was a believer after that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
no,
are
no.
too.
I'm big into that. I mean, I totally you know,
I really wasn't. I really wasn't until that happened. And then I was like, okay, let's see if we can do it again. And I was like, okay, Mom, what, I just said I said, send me an eagle. Now this is no lie, Davey, no lie. I got a real estate client, okay, that week when I said, send me an eagle, and it was on Lake Tarpon, and there was an eagle's nest in the back of the property.
which is random.
which
You
is,
know what I mean?
you know,
They're around, but they're hard to
so
find.
I am a believer, dude. So I am a
Yeah.
believer. So I think that's awesome that you reconnected with your mom that way.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that
I
is
mean,
so
because
cool.
I was talking to her. It was her birthday, and I was talking to her. And I'm like, I get in the car, and I'm like, these damn radio stations, and I'm like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr," and I pull out, and the next thing it's like, Dancing Queen, you are. I'm like, oh my God, hello, mom. You know?
Oh, it's a Swedish band, right? Those Swedish?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they were
ABBA.
Swedish. Yeah,
Oh my God, that's great. That's great.
yeah.
What, you find it, Pat? He's looking. I'll
Who's
find
older?
it someday and I'll put it on the,
Who's older, you or Pat?
what's that?
Who's older, you or Pat?
My brother, Pat, is older. He's 5 years older than me. He looks younger though.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay.
Pat, come here once. Come here once, just real quick. Davey wants to see what you look like. There, hold on. Kind of go in front. You got to bend down to get into the camera. Hey.
Hey, Pat, how are you, man? How you doing? Nice to meet you, brother.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I think we got to.
There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We both on there? Yeah, we're both on there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
All right.
you're like twins.
That's what they say. But anyway, he looks younger than me. And I would say, well, I don't know. I guess I got kids. They're making me look old. All right, I think we're done, Dave. I think it's what does it say? We're gonna hit end. You know, we'll after 100 episodes of this, we'll figure this out, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think we have to readdress the name though.
Yeah. Did you come up with some other ones?
I didn't. Buddy. The world takes over sometimes, but we'll get it.
Well, let's manifest it.
Let's manifest the name. Okay.
Of course, by the time these things air, we'll have a name.
That's it. Yeah.
And then we'll have to put it on the screen.
I hear you. Where is that behind you?
What's that?
What is your back screen?
Oh, that's just a shoot I did.
Anywhere?
Where the hell? I think that's on the intercoastal somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just one I found on this computer. I probably did that thing a year ago.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't even know what house it would be.
Oh, we get time left. We get 5 minutes. We get 6 minutes left, no?
Oh, I wanted to tell you. We do? Okay, good. Hey, I wanted to tell you, I
5:45.
did a twilight photo
Yeah,
for a
yeah, yeah.
client 2 days ago. And I'm gonna text it to you. I want you to critique it because I want to get better at those. I think you're probably a little bit better than me. But one of the things I learned is timing is everything.
Yes.
20 minutes after the sundown, dusk.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of like the magic time, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but you want to start shooting you want to start shooting,
Or get there earlier, yeah, just to
yeah,
get your
yeah,
settings.
as soon as sunset, you want to start shooting because it can change like that. You know what I mean? And if you miss it,
and it depends on cloud coverage too, right? Whether you're
yeah.
gonna get a good
I mean,
shot or not.
I did one there a couple of weeks ago, and the woman comes out and she opened the garage door and she was like, I just had to come out here and see if you're still here because I don't want you to get hit by lightning. You know what I mean? It's like
that'd be a cool shot.
Well, yeah. Meanwhile, the lady at the gate attendant at the job I had to go back to 10 o'clock this morning, was the gate attendant at the place where I went where I couldn't shoot the other day before the accident. And when I pulled up the other day, the storm was coming in when I pulled up to the gate, and she would not come out of the gatehouse to take my ID for me to drive in. And she goes, I've been, what's the word she used? I've been indirectly hit by lightning 4 times.
Indirectly, like
in other words,
the vicinity.
In other words,
traveled to the ground.
She's felt the the after effects from a lightning strike, whether it be from a building or whether it be from a whatever. So when I pulled up today at 10 o'clock this morning, it was the same lady, and I go, I just got to ask you a question. I said, I was here the other day and you wouldn't even come near the car. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, yeah. No way. No way. See lightning? I'm just, she goes, this is, never again. I mean, it's just like
Wow.
one of those things. You just think you freeze,
Yeah, yeah, you experience that, you don't want to experience it again.
yeah.
When
But,
I was a kayak guide, we used to, a lot of times if you saw lightning and you're on the water, you're gonna get those people off the water as quick as possible. We've had some close calls. We get them off the water. I remember one time it was like Hillsborough River, and we got them off the water, and it's north of Tampa, and it was just lightning and all around us, and we're like by these clump of cypress trees, and I told everybody to like spread apart, get on the balls of your feet. You know, if somebody gets struck, we don't want everybody getting struck. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's really protocol.
yeah.
And I had another close call on Egmont Key, which is by south of Fort DeSoto. Kind of overlooks Anna Maria Island there, Bradenton, and man, where are you going to go there? It's a key, it's an island. We had to like spread out like in the salt marsh. That was the most scared I've ever been in my life. And it's lightning all around the island. I mean, you've seen it striking. And I'm like, okay, it's going to hit the highest point. Hopefully, we got to be low. We're crouched down. We were on the balls of our feet. But we're like, 10 feet apart from each, it's probably 8 of us. And then we had to paddle back in that storm.
Bro, I mean, I'd stay there. I'd be like, leave me. I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not good with lightning, bro. I'm not a big fan.
Well, luckily we were all pretty good paddlers. I had known.
But it doesn't matter good paddler or not. I mean, if the thing's going to hit you, it's going to hit you.
Well, no, we waited it out. But what I'm saying is the storm was over, but the water was still rough, and we had to get back to Fort DeSoto, which is
the water. I wouldn't mind. The lightning, I'm not going anywhere. But before we go, my girl's coming down from Philly this week.
Nice.
On the, she's probably going to get here the 9th to the 10th with the 2 dogs, my dog and the new dog we just got, or she just got. But she's in the design world, interior design. She may have a job interview in Tampa, over in.
Check out Mike's website at getflightimagery.com and his Instagram at flight_imagery. That's FLIGHT_IMAGERY. Check out Davy at arrowvisionmedia.com. Also check out his Instagram at AERO_VISION_MEDIA. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next episode.